Which path are you training for as you age? The path of independence or the path of dependence? According to orthopedic surgeon Dr. Vonda Wright, she says that people unconsciously train for the path of dependence, depending on people to help them pick things up, depending on people to walk, depending on people to help them get out of the car. Now, this is especially true for executive level women because we have the strategy of sit, think, lead, and repeat. I want you to change that. I want you to choose the path of independence. And as we journey along our executive biology audit, this is a crucial step. Join me in the video. If you are with an employee resource group or someone in your corporate office, play this during a meeting. I guarantee you will find value. See you on the inside. How many of you are helping your elderly parents or helping people that you know need assistance in their elderly age? I'm one of them. I am caring for my mother, who's 86. My sister, Cheryl, is the primary caregiver. My mom lives with my sister, Cheryl. We moved our mom out of her home, the home that we grew up in. And we're so glad that we did because she had a serious health complication that spiraled her into a downward path. And if you are in your 80s, mid 80s, or above, that could be a very treacherous path. What that also does is it puts a little bit of dependence upon people around her. And I'm so happy to say that I've been able to help her and get her to a better path with my sister and my other sisters, and by the aid of the Area Office on Aging. Now, the reason I mention that is because most of us who are executive level women who likely are 40, 45 and up are dealing with that. And for a lot of us, it could take more time than not. And what I want you to know is I want you to watch and see what that's like for your parents or for those that you are caring for in their elderly age. Now, why is that important? It's important because you can see your future. You can see your future now. As a 40, 45, 50 plus woman, we know that we have to care for ourselves as we age. And I'm so grateful for the work of Dr. Vonda Wright, who's an orthopedic surgeon. She does a lot of work with people who are active, but she's also spent quite a bit of time before she started doing the work she is now, working in with elderly people, working in hospice, and she saw the aging process live. I was listening to a podcast that she was on called The Diary of the CEO with Stephen Bartlett. And she just so eloquently talked about this thing called mobility span. And she says that, as I said in the beginning of the video, that we are practicing and training for a specific type of life as we age, a life of independence or a life of dependence. And as the current state, my mother, my biological mother is in a state of dependence. Now, my married to mother, my mother-in-law, she's in the state of independence at the moment. And I see two paths that I'm watching them age, and I'm seeing what Dr. Vonda Wright is talking about. And she says, when you are in the independence, you are capable of living on your own. You're capable of doing your own thing, picking up things, being able to walk, get up and down the steps. All of those things matter. And she says the time that you need to start training for how you're going to be in your 70s, 80s, and 90s is in your 30s, 40s, and 50s. Yes, right now. And it's not too late. And I want to encourage all of us to understand that as we are acquiring this status, this success, we cannot forget that we are spiritual beings having a human existence, and we have a biology that we need to care for. And I want to introduce you myself for those of you who have not been on our videos yet. My name is Diana Patton. I am your authentic power strategist, and I help women, specifically executive women, reclaim their voice, their authentic voice, and to claim that in a healthy body, mind, and spirit, really working on an identity that is going to benefit them, a life that's going to benefit them, not just in their corporate career, but in their life. And we've helped several women go through our Rise Advocates Academy, and they are currently in our continuity program called our Rise 53 Inner Circle. Now, I share that with you because I am a living example of someone who's chosen to take my biology very seriously as I continue our Rise Advocates movement. I want to be an example of what I am talking about for executive level women. So I want to share this with you because a lot of you've been traveling along with us. You know that we're constantly referencing our Rise 53 Inner Circle newsletter that we write every single week to our paid subscribers. And I like to take time in these videos to share with you what we shared with our inner circle, just to give you a little sneak peek of what we're talking about. And let me put on my glasses because I am of that beautiful age. And I want to share with you what she says, that Dr. Vonda Wright says that every day you are either training strength or training weakness. You're either training resilience or training fragility. You're also either training independence or slowly drifting toward dependence. And it's subtle. This doesn't come like instantaneously. This comes in little signs. And for a lot of us, we're traveling through perimenopause and menopause, and we're starting to understand that things are a little different. You're starting to wake up maybe with a little bit of pain. You might have a little inflammation. You might feel a little lack of energy, brain fog, gaining weight, feeling overwhelmed a lot of days because it's very difficult to keep up with the tasks that you're doing. And these are signs, my sister friend. These are signs, not just perimenopause and menopause, but these are, I like to call them signals that we need to take our life down a different path. We need to start training and practicing a life of independence. Independence, meaning that you are going to be healthy in your mind, in your body, in your spirit, that you understand that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, that you make yourself your full time job, not your corporation, yourself your full time job, and that you need this because you're not a robot, right? You are not a robot. I always have all of our community raise the right hand to agree that they are not a robot, because actually, just keeping it real, someday you're literally going to have to do that. We're going to be seeing that. Put that in the record books. So I want to share this with you because I want to give you some tips to help you start to move to training in a life of independence. And what I love in our community is we've been talking about this thing called an executive biology audit. This week, what we've been doing is traveling through why we need to have movement in our lives and why sitting down, constantly sitting down, is a pathway toward dependence. And we have to start to create a new path for us as executive level women to attain what we want in a body that is going to allow us to live in it with ease, with joy, and a sense of independence for a long period of time. We don't get to trade in our body for that. I want to let you know that. Yes, we're going to be aging differently because of science, but I want you to do it the more humane way. Are you picking up what I'm laying down? So let me share a little bit more of what we wrote in our newsletter. It says, the question that you need to ask yourself is, will my body be able to support the life I'm building? So a lot of people I talk to, I always say, what are your goals? What are some of the things that you want to do? Oh, I want to travel. I want to be able to hike certain types of places, go hiking in different places. I'm just excited for my grandkids to come. I'm excited to be able to just to walk in the park in the evening. And I want to ask you, if your life primarily right now, I want you to begin to look at it, because I'm going to ask you some questions. Is what you're doing right now going to support what you want to do later? That is the hook. That's the critical question that you need to be able to ask yourself, right? Because I think a lot of us are dying, literally and figuratively, dying at the hands of a title, of proving something to someone, or being completely different, code switching and posturing and making that our full time job. Scared of offending people or being alone because you've decided that you want to take this path and no one wants to come with you. That is a short term view. And here in our Rise Advocates movement, we're looking at the long term, longevity as a way for you to be able to not only have an amazing career, contribute to your organization or to your own business, and change the legacy within your family. So that is what we're trying to be able to do. So because what's the point of building a powerful career, as she says here in the newsletter, Mrs. Unaya Curry, who's our writer in this Rise with Diana community, if your body can't keep up with the life that comes with it? So let me go and ask you these 5 critical questions. So, and this is the coaching corner that we've provided to our Rise 53 inner circle. Here we go. Number 1, fast forward movement. Okay. So fast forward moment. Look at this fast forward moment. Picture yourself 20 to 30 years from now. Okay. So I'm 57, and in 20 years, I'm going to be 77. And in 30 years, I'm going to be 87 beautiful years old. In 30 years, I'm going to be the age of my mother, the way that she is right now. So the question that you need to ask yourself is, how do you want to move, feel, and live day to day? All right, I can already answer that question because I am seeing my mom 30 years from now, and I'm seeing myself. I don't want that. I'm just going to keep that clear. And I want you to be as specific as possible. Right. When I'm 87 years old, I want to be this person jump roping. I want to be climbing mountains. Right. I want to be able to do the splits. I want to be lifting weights. I might even want to enter into a sprint competition. I might even be doing bodybuilding competitions. Now, I know I'm going to be older, but I see myself doing that. I see myself waking up with no pain. I feel amazing. I feel like I'm in my 40s, right? I just want to be able to feel that. Now, that's how specific I want you to get. Okay. So I want you to do that fast forward moment exercise. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to have a reality check. So, does your current lifestyle support that version? What you do today, what you're doing on a daily basis, does that current lifestyle support that reality, that check, that thing that you want to do? Right? Or does it contradict it? Because if the majority of your day you are sitting down, that's the majority of your day, and you're eating poor foods, you aren't building muscle, you are not going to get there. Okay. You have to have this reality moment, and it's me that has to share that with you. Okay. All right. Let's move to number 3. All right. Number 3, look at your patterns. Right. And one of the most effective things I have known is to have what I call pattern awareness. We talk about this a lot in our Rise 53 Inner Circle and our Path to Power, Purpose, and Connection. Here is the pattern I want you to recognize. Where are you currently training? Right? Are you currently training weakness, which is long sitting, low movement, or are you training dependence, which is avoiding physical challenges? Which one are you doing? What are you currently training for? And I want you to write this down. If you can be bold enough to write this down, you can be bold enough to face yourself, face the reality. And that's often what we do in this community is we just get real, right? We're the authentic power strategists. We like to talk about authentic power, not something that's going to gloss over and, make you feel good in the moment. That's what donuts are for. That's what Doritos are for. Fast, crunchy foods that taste good in your mouth that give you no substance. I mean, it's fun. That's what alcohol is for. That's what all of these pleasures are for, right? And there's pleasure in what we do because trust me. Oh, trust me. Oh, you could get a lot of pleasure out of this. I'm just going to leave it right there. But anyways, you have to get some pattern awareness. Number 4, all right? Now we need to reframe. What I want you to reframe is strength equals independence. Write that down. Strength equals independence. Number 2, reframe. Movement equals freedom. This is not optional. So, did you get that? Movement equals freedom. Strength equals independence, because a lot of you have equating movement to, oh, I got to go out and I got to get my steps in, or I got to go work out today. You have the wrong frame. You have the wrong mindset, right? And strength, in building strength, oh, well, I don't want to look bulky. I don't want to look muscular. I don't want to look like a man. Wrong frame. So you got to change the frame. You picking up? Yeah, you get, okay, cool. All right, so last thing I want you to do is I want you to make one decision today. One, okay? Do something your future self will thank you for today, okay? That could be taking the steps. I'm going to tell you, I was just recently at the Cleveland Clinic. My daughter was in the Cleveland Clinic, and she was on the 3rd floor. And every day I'm going up and down, up and down. Guess what I chose to do? Take the steps. I also chose to, while she was just sitting there, instead of just sitting there with her, 8 hours out of the day, I told her I'm going to take a break, and I would walk in the hallway, right? It was a long way around, and I just walked around it. In fact, I was encouraging some of the nurses to say, wow, thank you so much for doing that. We never see people doing that. So that's another thing that you could do. Carry something heavy. Some of you are like, I do carry something heavy every day. It's my briefcase. Some of y'all carry them things, and I just want you to switch it. Like, carry it on one side, carry it on another side. Carry it on one side, carry it on another side. The reason I want you to carry that, right, is because you can work on your strength. Sadly, what happens as we age is we carry these things, carry this in our bodies, and our body is too heavy for our frame, which is the reason why you see a lot of people walking like this, right? Because they can't, oh, it's just so much strength to keep your body up like this. And then because eventually you start doing this, right? And I know a lot of you just started doing that, right? Just as you're sitting there watching me, you started doing that. I know you did, because it's all about awareness. All right, another thing that you can do, and then we'll close, is move when it's inconvenient. Move when it's inconvenient. So when you start making yourself your full-time job and you start training for independence, you start living a different lifestyle. You start thinking differently. Your frame is differently. You start to see your world differently. So these are the things that I would like you to do. Who's going to make a decision to do one thing today? You? Okay, can you tell us what it is? Share in the comments what it is. I'd like you, a lot of you are going to be watching this or listening to this via LinkedIn. Share in the comments. Some of you are watching through YouTube. Share in the comments. And then what I would love for you to do is share this with someone that you know that needs to hear it, because you got to work together. Iron sharpens iron to train for independence. The other thing I would encourage you to do is if you are with a corporation, an organization, and you have an employee resource group, I would encourage you to bring me in to have me speak to your group about our executive biology audit. And you could either have me speak about all four quadrants, or you could have me speak on a specific version of that. I'm happy to do that. Lastly, if you really want to make this a serious community, I have three things for you to consider. One, subscribe. Subscribe to our Authentic Power Strategies, our YouTube, so that you can be notified of when I come out with these weekly videos and information. The second thing that you can consider is get on our waitlist for the Rise Advocates Academy, which is our deep dive, structured, 12-week program that goes through these types of topics and so much more for executive women. And then lastly, if you want to get a part of our continuity program, we have the Rise 53 Inner Circle, which we give you a sneak peek every single week. But if you want to be in community with women, meeting on a weekly basis, the Rise 53 Inner Circle is for you. Okay, well, that concludes the information for today. Again, please reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. We will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.